Guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be all about my experience in the 5th week of Air Force basic training. I do have all the other weeks up to this point so far on my channel, and I'm going to continue doing a video for each week of my experience. So I shipped out to basic training December 11th and I graduated the weekend of February 8th. So week 5 I was there January 13th through January 19th. So that Sunday was the baptism service, and I did get baptized during basic training. Hundreds of people were there. Lots of people got baptized. So you wear PT gear and the water is absolutely freezing, but it's an awesome experience. You do only have one opportunity to get baptized during basic training, so if you're interested in getting baptized, I would definitely recommend taking advantage of that opportunity. After the baptism service, they do give you a certificate stating that you got baptized, where it took place, the date, all of that. It's really cool. I still have my certificate. And if you want to just attend the baptism service to like watch your friends get baptized or just to see how it works, then you can do that too. So you can sign up to attend the baptism service, but you don't necessarily have to get baptized. Alright, so that Monday, it looks like we just spent the whole day in class. I wrote down mental preparation for combat, intro to the code of conduct, combat stress recovery, and joint operations. So really, and intro to Air Force combatives. So we took 5 classes that Monday. Tuesday, it looks like we also had a lot of classes. Law of Armed Conflict, or LOAC is what the military calls it. Principles of first aid and progress check. So you guys will learn how to take care of someone if they have like a broken bone or an open wound or anything like that. And then you learn it all in class, all the steps of how to treat the person, and then you go outside and you practice it, and they call it a PC, or a progress check. So they just make sure that you guys paid attention, you know the steps, you practice it on each other outside. One person lays on the ground, you demonstrate it, then you switch, and yeah, that's what they just check, that you know how to take care of someone with a broken bone or an open wound. Okay, Wednesday I wrote down clothing issue detail. This was so much fun. If you guys have the opportunity to volunteer for clothing issue detail, do it. I had so much fun. There were 4 male flights and 2 female flights that we helped. So you go to clothing issue and you work there all day, and you basically give all the 0 weekers their clothing issues. So you give them their green socks, white socks, black socks, sand tees, everything you get that day, you're going to help them with. So in clothing issue, you're basically just like in an assembly line. So one of us was stationed at each spot. So the new people would come in with their duffel bag wide open, and it's like Halloween trick-or-treating, that's what they call it. So you just dump in everything as they go through. They get their socks, their underwear. Well, guys get issued underwear, girls don't. So I was in charge of green socks, so every time someone went by with a duffel bag, I was just in charge of giving them the correct number of green socks. And then you have some time between each flight to kind of fill everything back up and then do it again. So besides helping them with the green socks, I was also put in charge of helping the guys with their boots. So basically we were just in charge of getting the flights through as fast as possible. It was just really cool to help the new people, because at that point we were only 3 weeks from graduating. We knew what it was like to be 0 weeker. We knew how scared and how stressed and how anxious they probably felt. So it was cool to be like, let me show you how to lace your boots. Let me show you how to close your duffel bag. Just, it was nice to help them. I really liked that day. So I also wrote down that the DFAC was out of peanut butter, and this was for all of week 5, which was the week before our final PT test, and everybody was freaking out, including myself, because we usually got like 2 or 3, 4 peanut butters per meal every single day, just to eat out of the container or to use for bread or dip stuff in, whatever. We literally ate peanut butter with everything, and it was like one of our biggest sources of protein. And yeah, everybody was very, very sad and stressed out when the DFAC was out of peanut butter for week 5. And it was all DFACs, it wasn't just ours. So even if you had like KP duty or you went to eat at another squadron for some reason, they were also out of peanut butter, so it was very depressing. So during week 5, I also wrote down that we could sign up to get our Squadron Hoodie, which is my maroon hoodie that I wore in a couple other videos. They also gave us a mini mall run to go get cash if you wanted to buy the Squadron tee or the Squadron Hoodie. I bought both personally. So Thursday we had a couple PCs, or progress checks. So the first one was for drill movements in the day room. So we were called into the day room about 5 at a time, and our MTI was in there calling facing movements, like right face, left face, about face, things like that, just to make sure you know how to do your facing movements and drill movements. And overall it's a very easy PC. By week 5 I would hope that you would know all these things really well. You'll be fine, don't worry about it. So another PC that we did that day was rank recognition and reporting to the flight office. So after we reported to the flight office, or the day room, we were in front of our MTI at the desk, and he showed us a couple different ranks, and he would just point to them and we would say which rank it was. So they just want to know that you're able to recognize a rank based on the insignia. This week one of our element leaders actually got fired. She failed her RLA inspection, but we also voted on a new element leader. So that can happen if you are put in a student leader position, like dorm chief or element leader. You can get fired or replaced or anything like that if you do anything wrong. So Friday we had our weapons breakdown PC, so we all went outside with our M16 training weapons, and we went about 5 at a time in front of our MTI, disassembled it, assembled it, that's pretty much it. It's very, very easy by that point. You probably won't need help, but I think you still get a couple instructor assists if you need it, but you're probably not going to need it. So I wrote down we also had flight commander time about communication with brother flight. Basically, our flight commander would come in. I think she came in 2 or 3 times into our day room and just talked with us. She is an officer, and she did kind of just answer questions about the Air Force or officer life or anything like that. This week, we also had our final RLA PC. So, like I said in my earlier videos, we had our first clothing issue RLA, we had our second clothing issue RLA. This one was on your entire wall locker, everything you've been issued up until this point. So obviously it's twice as big as our other RLAs that we did. Like I said in my previous videos, I failed the first 2 RLA checks. This one, I only got 1 demerit, which is amazing. 11 or less passes, and that sounds like a lot, but honestly you have to think about all your sets of blues, all your sets of ABUs, all your PT gear, all your socks, all your underwear, literally everything in your entire wall locker gets checked for strings, lint, wrinkles, like literally anything. So 1 demerit I was very proud of, and the 1 demerit I got was for the US insignia lapels on my service coat, but that's okay. So the last day of this week, we were told that we were going to go fill out a survey, and our MTI marched us over this bridge we had never been over. I think he called it the bridge to nowhere, and if you go over that bridge, you will see why they call it the bridge to nowhere. There's literally nothing on the other side except like an empty old parking lot. So we went to one of the older buildings that we had never been to take this survey. Let me tell you, it was definitely not a survey. It was like a mini ASVAB, and we were not mentally prepared for this. It took an hour and a half to do this test. I don't know why our MTI told us we were going to take a survey, but yeah, it was definitely a test. It was an hour and a half test, lots of math, and that was pretty much that. So that's pretty much how my 5th week of Air Force basic training went. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments, or you can message me on Instagram at Brittany L. Willis. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video all about 6th week. Bye!